Hi guys, and welcome to Color with Donna. I am Donna, and today I have the 200 gel pen value set. This is by Reaeon. It is their brand that is available on Amazon, and it is the glitter set. It is 100 unique glitter gel pens and 100 refills. That is 38 glitter neons and 62 glitter. So what I thought is that we would take a look at these and swatch them out so we can see what they look like. And I did briefly open the box just to get a very brief overview of what it was inside the box to make sure everything was there before we got on video. So it's not a 100% unboxing, but this is what you will receive. It is in this cardboard box. It has the information on the pens. It will have, of course, the mailing label, and it has their customer service information. It says that they promise a full refund or replacement of any defective or unsatisfied order, to please contact them with questions or any suggestions to improve their products. So that is nice. I like it when businesses say that you're trying risk-free. And when you open the box, you will find your refills, and they are packaged with the 38 neon glitter and then the 62 regular glitter. And on the refills, you actually have numbers. So let me go ahead and, how easy is this going to be to open? There we go. So you have numbers on these. I don't know if you guys can see that really well, but this says GN22, so it lets you know which refill this is for. But here is the problem that I found, and this is why I opened the box, because I wanted to know real quick, because I had noticed on a review that someone had said there were no color names. It was advertised that there were. So I thought, So I immediately wanted to check that. So you pull this out and you have the 100 of the set. And this was what I noticed. Oh, you know what? It is actually on the pen. So it is there. That is awesome. It says G41. So you do have that. I'm going to assume that is the color, meaning glitter number 41. What I had noticed, and I bet you the person who had left the review did not notice this on the cap. If you open these up and look, the name is not on the refill or the ink that is inside the pen when you purchase it. And I bet that is what they noticed and they did not realize. So this is awesome, guys. It has the color code name on the actual cap of your pen. Now you will have to keep up with your caps because it's nowhere on this to match the cap back to the pen, but it is on there, and that's awesome. And then you would also have it again on your refills. You would just find the appropriate color, GN35, and you would just look GN, that would be glitter neon, and GN35, GN35 would be right here, which would be your glitter neon 35. So that's what you would replace that with. So that is really awesome. I love that. Of the more budget-friendly gel pens that I have purchased and looked at, there was no indication of colors. So you pretty much had to either label your own pens in some way if you were going to swatch. Otherwise, you were just going to be kind of looking at the ink and constantly scratching something out to get an idea. So this is awesome. immediately, that's a total win for me. It's, that's absolutely wonderful. That's not something you typically see on your more budget friendlies. So that's amazing. The only complaint that I have about the actual pen itself, in my opinion, and this may not be a big deal at all to some people, is there is nothing here. There's no cushion for your finger. My A&R Arts does have a cushion here. My Colorates do have a cushion here. And the Colorates do have the names and all of that information as well, but the A&R Arts do not. So if I had to choose between A&R Art, now this is just off looking. I have not laid these down on paper yet, so I cannot say for sure. We will test that. But if the quality between the two were the same, and the only difference was I was not going to have this cushiony pad here for my fingers, I would definitely choose having a color name over the cushion any day, because I like to be able to see what's going on. Now, I did check on Amazon, and I did not check on Facebook. It does say that they have a Facebook page as well. I need to check there and verify that this is correct. But on Amazon, at least as of right now, once you run out of these refills, you would have to buy the whole set again. Unfortunately, I'm not seeing where the company offers just the refills. I will check on their Facebook page, and if I am incorrect, I will put that information in the description so you know that you can continue to get replacements. If you could continue to get the replacements, that would be a definite win on that for sure. So, and they fit very nicely down into here, so you would have a place to store, and it snaps shut. Before I end up with pins everywhere. And they just kind of open up like this. So you have your 4 sections of your pens. So that's really neat, that you can just kind of spread those out on your desk, or, you know, flip through them as you would need them. And I am not, let's see, is there any method to their madness the way these are actually blues? Yes, so it looks like it would go from this direction, this way, and then flip this way, and then through the neons this way. That's what it kind of looks like to me, but then you go back into regulars here, so I'm not 100% sure on that, but that kind of looks like how it's intended to be laid out. Let's see. Your neons end here, and it would start with purple. Browns. Just checking these. Like I said, this is my first little peek at this myself, so, and it looks like you get, here's some purples, and it goes back into this, and then your neons start here. So I don't understand why these are down here by themselves. I'm not understanding that, but that's okay. It looks like your maybe purples, pinks, and maybe some reds and a brown is down here on the end. Okay. That's really odd that they chose to do it that way. But I'm going to swatch these out exactly as they're in the sets. When I get to the ends, I may decide to keep those neons all together. We'll see. This is, again, this is my Jade Summer color charts. I think this is awesome, especially for being able, you know, to do things like this, or to test things on Create Space type paper. So, I mean, this is a really nice book. I highly recommend this after being able to swatch out the 12 set of the Polychromos, the Coronors that I had gotten, the 24 set of my Jane Davenports, my 24 Black Widows. I really like that, and it gives you a good feel. I think it's important sometimes to test our mediums on different types of paper so we get a better idea. Okay, so I am going to zoom this in for swatching, and you guys will have to, I hope that's not blurry, you guys will have to forgive my horrible handwriting. It is not all that great. And like I said, I am just going to do these exactly as they are in the package. It's the Reaeon. And it is only technically 100. It comes with 100 refills. Okay. And I hope this doesn't bore you guys doing just swatches. But I'm hoping that this will give you an idea, because I mean, I think this is, I love finding, you know, budget-friendly things. I'm going to go ahead and write just a few numbers, so when I start swatching them, I can go directly down the line. It doesn't seem, it's funny, I'll have to look at this and see if I see any rhymed reason to these numbers later. It might benefit to put them maybe in a better, you know, in an order that makes better sense to you. We all look at our mediums in different ways. We store things in different ways. What I have kind of started doing myself is, and I'm not swatching right now, so don't think I'm out of frame. I am just writing these out, just a few of them real quick. But what I have started doing when I get things is I am putting them basically in whatever order the manufacturer had them in. And more than anything, it's because that's just easier. And then if I find that it would work out better for me in another way, I just move them later into that order. I am constantly redoing my supplies, and so things get changed constantly. Okay, that gets at least the first row, so now we can start. I didn't want you guys... Is that blurry for you guys? I hope not. Okay, this is G33. I definitely feel like the camera's shaking. Ooh. Okay, and I'm just going to put this down here. This is the first time I have actually put ink to paper on this. So it is very smooth. It started immediately. I didn't have to tap it or, you know, anything like that to get it started. So that one worked really good. Let me see. If I turn this light on, is it going to be too... Oh, that's too much of a glare for you guys, isn't it? Or do you like that? Because you can see the glitter much better that way. Do you see that? It does have a good bit of glitter in the pen. So that's nice. This would be G40, and the G is just going to stand for glitter. Oh yeah, that one started right out also. Very smooth. And I know that light is adding some glare, but I really want you to be able to see the glitter that's in the pen. Because, I mean, let's face it, if you're buying a glitter gel pen, you're interested in the glitter and what kind, you know, how much glitter is in those pens. Okay. G05. It looks like it will be a silver. And again, I mean, that's amazing. The one thing I've noticed with a lot of more budget-friendly gel pens is sometimes they don't always come out extremely smooth. Sometimes you kind of have to tap them a little bit just to get the ink flowing. But these first three came out first try. Very glittery also. So that's nice. G04. Which is another silver. Okay. And it looks like G31 is our white, so I don't expect this to necessarily be all that great. I have found that it doesn't much matter what brand of gel pen you get, in budget friendly at least, the more white colors or just generally aren't that great. Even the clear glitters really aren't that great. So I just try not to hold that one against a company very much. But, I mean, that does have some glitter in that. Can you guys see that? I mean, it is glittery. So, it does have the glitter in there. Do I have something that we could test this? Yes, we can test this right back here on the black. I didn't even think I had that. And this is what I find with a lot of the gel pens, the whites, is that you don't get an opaque white that necessarily will always show up. It tends to kind of just blend in and disappear. And that's why I'm not a huge fan of a lot of the more budget friendlies. But I mean, that's not super bad. You see that? It's definitely turning more as it's drying. You see how it's becoming very translucent. So that's not going to show up extremely well. The glitter does show up extremely well on the black, as you see. So, tested that. And when we get these swatched out, I mean, if I remember, I'll switch it over and we'll just kind of randomly pick some, especially like in the neons, and go over the blacks, because that generally, the neons are generally the ones that will show up the best on black. And I believe the Amazon listing said that these were 0.08 to 1 millimeter. So they are the, they do have the wider tips, which is definitely something you always want to look for in gel pens. If you're going to use those in any type of coloring, the more broad the tip is, the better the ink is going to flow out, and the less scratchy it's going to be, and the better it's going to work out for you. So far, I'm really impressed. They're definitely in line with other, so far, of other budget-friendly gel pens, at least the ones that I do enjoy using. G32. It's kind of like a gold. I hope the camera's not shaking too bad doing the swatches. And I hope that you don't mind being this zoomed in, but if the idea is for you to see how these gel pens work, the closer I can get you guys to the action, the better you're going to be able to see that. Okay. And then, of course, we'll zoom out so you can see a full color range as we get further along. This is G03, and this is one thing I just noticed. I don't know if you guys can see this or not. Yeah, I think maybe you can. Can you see these little breaks? There's two tiny little breaks here towards the ends of the ink. Generally, in a gel pen, when you get those little breaks like that, the ink's not going to flow past that first break. It's just not going to happen. That's the point that your pen is dead. So that's definitely something to look for in your gel pens when you're opening those up. I have found even the more expensive pens will have those breaks. The gel writers, I have found those breaks in those. So it's not necessarily a, Now, if the breaks are further down towards the bottom of the pen, I would definitely ask for a replacement pen, because the pen's just not going to work very long at all in that case. And if you drop, I don't know if you guys know this, I know with our pencils, you know if you drop them, you're risking breaking the cores. It's the same thing with a gel pen. You've got to be careful with these, because if they have a sudden drop, it can break that ink up in there. And that can happen also from a gel pen being dropped. But I am really liking the fact that all of these are, coming out as soon as I open the pen and put them to paper. That's pretty impressive. They do seem very glittery. I mean, I think you guys can definitely see that glitter. And if you guys are really bored with this, because I totally understand that swatching is just not some people's cup of tea. If you want to just fast forward towards the end of the video, then you'll be able to see the full color range. You'll be able to see the full color range and, my final thoughts and things like that, and information on where they can be purchased and their pricing and things like that. So, you're not going to hurt my feelings if you fast forward through. I totally get that swatching is just not some people's cup of tea. I will watch swatching videos, and generally, that's a beautiful color green. Generally, I'll just kind of color, and I'll look up every so often just to kind of see what's going on and how things are looking. But, you know, even I don't sit and just watch an entire swatching video, not in its entirety. I just kind of, when I watch, I want to see, you know, how they lay down, how they work, you know, whatever the medium is. And then, of course, I want to see that color range, the full color palette that's available. I love using gel pens in Johanna Basford books or other double-sided books, my Denise Klett books, Mermaids in Paradise, Gnomes in the Neighborhood, Fairies in Dreamlands. I love using the gel pens in those books because the pictures are a little, even though they're one-sided, they're a little intricate and have some very small areas. So the gel pens work wonderful in those. And I will definitely be coloring a good bit in those once Christmas is over and I go back to just coloring other types of things. Wow, this one is super juicy. This olive kind of green, very, very juicy. And I've got a little piece of paper over here at the side that once we're done with this, I can, you know, we can kind of test how they're going to smear and things like that. Because I know that's kind of important for a lot of you when it comes to using gel pens. You like using the smear techniques and things like that. I generally don't use it too much myself. But, so I'm not even sure how it'll go me trying to demonstrate it since I really don't use it much myself. So basically what you're going to get is, hey, here's the ink and let's see if it smears. But I would assume it will smear. It's a nice color green also. And, you know, this cap was a little loose, but you just have to, you know, tighten it up. I find that a lot with the gel pens, even as I color with them, sometimes the ends will start to get loose. Okay, let's move this back up here. Start the next row with G36, which is another green. Oh, this one's really juicy too. The greens seem to be super juicy. And that may vary, you know, from pack to pack. I'm not sure. But I've definitely found that the glitter and the metallics seem to be the juiciest when it comes to gel pens. And I really don't own a set of more expensive gel pens. The most expensive gel pens I have is some gel writers, I believe. And I don't even know if that would really be considered, you know, like a top brand. I do have just plain glitter jelly roll and a white jelly roll, a Uniball Signo white, but that's it. I don't have any of the sparkle pops or anything like that. I would like to try those one day, but I don't have any of those. And, you know, the reason I don't is because I really like to color with my gel pens, and they come in such small packs that you just don't have a lot of choices when it comes to color. So I generally try to get the more budget-friendly sets and test those and see, you know, how well they work. Oh, yes, that is juicy too. To see how well they're going to work. And so I can use those in my books. I think this is a beautiful color. Beautiful, beautiful. Like a bluish green. It's very nice. Very, very nice. G11. And even if they're not, you know, in the perfect color order based off the way the manufacturer, you know, packages them, you know, when you have them down on paper so you can look at them, you know, you can kind of get that feel. So it's not as big of a deal. But of course, you know, it's easy to take these out and put them in, you know, whatever order you would want them in. Some of you may want to keep them in the packaging from the manufacturer. Some of you may want to put them in some type of storage of your own, whether it be like a pencil portfolio holder or some type of containers that you use for your pens. This one's a little loose. There. It is juicy. Just juicy, juicy, juicy. I love a juicy gel pen. They make me happy. I'm about to have to take a break and write some more numbers down. We have 2 more after this one. These are, some of these are super duper juicy. This being one. And I mean, I haven't really had any that were dry and scratchy, but some of these are just like super duper. That's a gorgeous color blue, very like a sapphire blue maybe. I don't know how these colors are showing up for you guys, and they're really nice. Really, really nice. And the glitter, as you see, is just, you know, there's lots of glitter in these pens. See that? I like it a lot. And I have purchased some pens before that were glitter, and there was just not very much glitter in them. I like a very glittery pen. There we go. And I think just for sake of the video, I am going to pause this while I write out the next set of numbers. I know it won't save much time on the video, but every little bit, I'm sure. Because, I mean, swatching's not the most exciting thing in the world to watch, but it's important if you're interested in a product and want to see that. I adore that color of blue. Beautiful. Okay, let me write out some numbers and we'll be right back. Okay, guys, we are back and I have all the numbers written down so we can get right to it. I have only noticed one problem so far, And I will let you guys know when we get there what that problem is. So, let's just continue on. Okay, this pen, you see that? That's what you find a lot of times with your budgets. It's the only one that has done that so far. So, keep track with me. That's one pen that skipped just a little, but you see how quick it went right back? So, I mean, it wasn't a big deal at all. So that was only one. I'm going to make myself a little mark right here on a piece of paper so I know that one. I'm keeping up with this. I want to be as accurate as possible with what I feel about these pens based off of other pens that I have used in the same price range. But I don't think that's bad at all for what we had, like 27 pins before one actually skipped just a tad for a second. So I'm not even sure that that's a big deal at all. Now, the one thing I did notice, this pen, I just noticed this pen did arrive broken. So this is something I will email the company about. This was probably damaged during shipping, so you can't too much hold that against the quality of the product. That could happen to anyone. You know, you could buy a set of pens that were $100 and one could still arrive broken. If you've ordered Prismacolors through the mail, you are very familiar with what I'm speaking about. So I will email the company about that one broken pen. And then there's one other thing that I haven't noticed already that I'll be emailing the company about, just about that. I'll get to that in a minute. But, you know, I'm not worried at all because it says it has a complete satisfaction guarantee. So we're going to test out the customer service. And once I hear back from the customer service, I will update in the description of this video what the customer service's response was to me about any of the issues that we find. That way, you'll also get a test of their customer service as well. See, we're going back into some more greens here. So the greens were not all together. So that's kind of a bummer. You know, I like it when all the different colors are together. And maybe there is method to the madness. But I kind of prefer all my blues together, all my greens together. I don't care what kind of undertones or overtones or backtones or forward tones or whatever it is. I just prefer to have all of the same colors together. But that's just my own preference. But these appear to be the colors that are much, much lighter. You get your blues, you know, the really, really light ones. I'm not a huge fan of these in the sets. Every set has the ones that are dusting of that color of glitter than anything. I like the ones that are much darker. But that's just my, you know, that goes down to preference. And then we're going back into yellows. Is this another really light one? Well, this is a yellow that has kind of a green tint to it. You can definitely see the green in this yellow. Go. We are moving right along. Are you guys hanging in there with me, or have you fast forwarded? Let me know how many of you are actually still with me and stuck with me, and we'll find out at the end how many of you watched the entire video before giving up and hitting that fast forward button, or just giving up and leaving. I hope you don't do that, but we'll see. I get it. Some people just do not have any interest in watching swatches happen. I understand. I enjoy swatching out. I like seeing color go down on paper. To me, it's just beautiful. That's that's like the biggest thing I enjoy about coloring in general, is just seeing the color go down. So even swatching is interesting, you know, to me. I enjoy doing that. Seeing the different colors that are available and things like that. And the pins aren't super hard to get back into their right spaces. I can see that it might frustrate some people, but I mean, I think it's a nice little storage case. It seems, you know, it doesn't seem, it's not expensive, you know, or anything like that, but I mean, it's fine. And my heater finally knocked off, so if you guys were hearing that background noise, it should be gone now. Of course, now you may hear that water dripping sound that people have mentioned before. That's the clock on the other side of the room. I love the clock. It's very beautiful. And I watched this clock as it went on clearance several years ago at one of my favorite stores. And when it got to a certain price and they did still have it, I bought it. It is old now. I still love it. It does not keep very good time, but I like it just as a decoration piece, and I can always replace the, you know, the inside of the clock part at some point. But I'm thinking about just taking the batteries out just to stop that tick, 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 since right now the time's not very correct. That is a beautiful pink. I love it. Love that pink. Got Bradley behind me in his bed, and he's snoring. Okay, this is another one of those really super light ones that you can barely see. So, I mean, if you guys aren't seeing this, it's not that the pen doesn't have any color. It's that it is super light. It's a very light pink. So with this, you would basically just get a light shade of pink and the glitter. And hopefully you guys can see, yeah, you guys should be able to see that glitter. So it's there. It's just a really light pink. G49. This one's super juicy. Has a lot of color. And see, this is the kind of gel pens I really like. It's the ones that have super duper lots of color in it. Since I like to use it to color with, not necessarily just for a splash of glitter. But the reason I really prefer, well, I love glitter. You know, a lot of people will say, what's your favorite color? Glitter. But I like to have the color, and I really like to have that shimmer. And it looks great in, like, if you're doing fairies or mermaids or anything like that. It's awesome. Have you seen the cute little video that's going around that's titled The Dangers of Secondhand Glitter? It's really kind of funny. My husband found it on Facebook, and he shared it, and we share a Facebook. So I told him, I said, you can't share things like that. Glitter's my favorite color. But yeah, run a search on YouTube and see maybe if that video happens to be on YouTube. I'm sure that's probably where it originated. It's called The Dangers of Secondhand Glitter. And it's just really cute. It's a cute little video. And glitter does tend to get everywhere. My husband came in the other day. Gary is his name. I need to start using Gary instead of just my husband. But when he had put up the Christmas lights, he had messed around, you know, and a lot of those things had some glitter in the boxes and on the things and stuff like that. It was late that night, and he turned and looked at me to say something. We were watching TV together, and glitter was sparkling all over his cheek. It was so cute. It reminded me of him sharing that video. That's a nice color purple there. And here's another one of the ones. It's just the light. It's a very light, a light lilac maybe. I love sets of pens, pencils, markers that have good choices in purples. Purple is I love the color purple if it's like the right shades. And it seems like that seems to be something that's lacking in a lot of sets. And it doesn't really look like the set has much to speak of in that realm either, but that's pretty typical. This one looks like it would be very opaque almost. Yeah. This pen's much more opaque than some of the others. And it's also a shade of purple. It's kind of metallic-y. It's pretty. There we go. So we have almost swatched out 48. We're almost halfway there. And only one pen is skipped. And it started back working very quickly on its own. And we had the one broken casing, which I'll email the company about. Other than that, I'm super impressed. The lids seem to snap on very tightly. Can you guys hear that? Hear the pop? So they are very tight on there, so that's good. I hate it when, whether it be markers or pens, have loose caps because it can make them dry out faster. You know, your cap can accidentally slip off. So I do like it when caps are on nice and tight. There's our black. That's also very glittery. You guys see that? Yeah. Okay. And this is kind of a bronze, I guess. Okay, bronze. This is kind of a darker, maybe a darker bronze. It's not a black. So I guess, you know, this is your browns or bronzes. And it does seem to me like maybe the darker colors seem to be the pens that are super juicy. So it's just kind of an observation I'm making. It seems like the darker the ink, the juicier the pen. And so far, all the colors have been unique. It's like these browns are kind of similar, but I can definitely see the difference in the colors. So they're not so close together that you can't. So if you wanted to use, you know, like a light, medium, dark, that would be perfect for that. This G42 actually seems to be the darkest, so it would be like G42, G60, G30. Okay, and that page is complete. So we will flip this and start on this, and then we'll show all of them at the same time once we get this finished. This is G58. Am I still in frame good? Yeah. Would kind of defeat the entire purpose of the video if I ended up out of frame. So I want you guys to be able to see these actually go down. So you can see, you know, how easy they're going down, or, you know, whatever, and how juicy they are. I want you to be able to see the color. Hopefully you can make out the colors okay, somewhat anyway. I think when I zoom out, the colors will be more obvious. I definitely want you to be able to see the glitteriness, since they are glitter pens. Go. And that's 50 pens. We're switching to the next section. Pop those back together. We should go into G14. Let me find where I'm at here. That was G48, right? I hope I didn't mess up somehow. That would be rather embarrassing at this point of the ball game. Okay, let's see. We just did this one. So we did these. Oh my goodness, how did I do this? Why does it go all the way over to here now? Oh goodness, somehow. Oh, it's because we got to the glitter neons and I skipped those. I skipped those to leave those till the end. So this is where we switched over to stay within the regular glitters. Okay. Okay. That threw me off a little bit there. So these just kind of, then it went into the neon glitters, and I just skipped over the neon glitters and stayed within the glitters because I don't understand why they put that break in them like that and put the neon glitters in the middle. But I wanted to have all of these colors together and then the glitters. So this is a very, like a deep purple. I like this one a lot. It's very juicy. There we go. That makes much more sense. I was getting confused. It's pretty bad when you confuse yourself, you know? Pretty. Excuse me. G43. Sorry about that, guys. I had to open the window just to get a little bit of airflow. It is so stuffy in here, and it is raining, so you can probably hear that rain. It started raining sometime during the night, and it has really been coming down all morning. I could not sleep last night. Oh goodness, it was horrible. I was so glad when Gary's alarm went off this morning for him to get up to go to work, because it meant that it was okay, that I could finally just go ahead and just quit and get up. You know, I don't like to be up trying to move about when he is still trying to rest, because there's no guarantees he'll get any sleep on shift, you know. And I think I will probably rearrange these a little bit in their case to put them maybe closer together. I don't know. I may just go by the swatches and keep up with it that way. Oh, this one's gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. And I am loving swatching, you know, using this Jade Summer book, because you can really get an idea of how things are going to work on, you know, paper that's not super duper nice paper, because that's really important to know. And I just like the way this book's kind of laid out. You know, if you've got smaller sets of things that you want to you know, swatch out or whatever, I think it's kind of neat. The only thing that I think they might could, you know, do better is if maybe the book was in some way in sections, so you could do different types of mediums and keep those together. But that's wouldn't be hard to do. All you have to do is maybe put a sticky flag or something. Oh, sorry for shaking the camera. You know, just like a sticky flag or something in the book to show where the different mediums are. It would be nice maybe for the larger sets like this if it didn't have to be on 2 pages, but I understand if you, I do like having enough room to write, so I like that. And you know, you would, to do that, you would lose a lot of your writing space to add more squares, so I get it. Overall, I mean, it's great. And I think the book is like $4.99 on Amazon. So it's very inexpensive for a swatch book. I'll leave a link to it as well as to the gel pens in the description below the video, in case any of you might be interested in the Jade Summer swatch book. You know, something that I kind of thought too about this book is it would be great if you were working on specific a specific picture and you wanted to keep up with your color combinations for that picture. You know, you could write the book name maybe and the mediums, and then keep up with that. Or even if it were just maybe your favorite color combinations, I think it would be a great book to do color combos in also. So there's very versatile, all sorts of ways you could use the book. Oh, that's a very pretty color. I like that. It's nice and juicy. Okay. And we are almost, I think we have one more, and we're at the end of our regular glitters. This is kind of a light brown. I thought the pen was going to skip on me, but then it went right back to working, so I wouldn't say that was necessarily a skip. It could have just been the way I was rolling it across the paper. I'm not sure. I thought we were going to have another skipper there for a minute. G29. It's a pretty dark brown. We'll see how the neons work, because I really generally don't like neon gel pens. They seem to be scratchy and kind of scratchy to me and don't flow as well. But the glitters sometimes aren't that bad. So we are going to see. Alright, let me close this side back up so I don't end up with pens all over the room. And let's go back to where those glitter neons started. Okay. And this is where these are said to be glitter neons. Sometimes the glitter neons don't look very neon-y to me. This is just kind of a brown, and I wasn't really, I didn't really know that a brown could be neon. But, you know, when I think of neon, I think highlighter colors is kind of where my mind goes. Of course, they may mean that they will show up on black paper, and we'll do a little bit of a test on that here in a minute. When we finish up, we'll flip to the back of this and look at some of the glitter neons on black. And that may be more what they mean, is that they'll show up on the black paper. And that's another nice thing with them labeled, having the, you know, GN as the glitter neon on the pen. If it works and they do show up on black paper, you would be able to easily see which ones of your gel pens are going to work on your black paper. So that would be nice. Yeah, now see, this is a neon pink to me. I can definitely say, yep, that's a neon. I think I'm loose. Yeah, the end of it was a tiny bit loose. I could feel it moving around in there. There we go. And see, this is a pink and it does not look neon to me, so we're going to test the will it show up on the black. And it's so handy that the back of these Jade Summer pages are black, because I really don't keep black paper. I would have had to have used maybe a black alcohol marker and black this out an area to test on. Ooh, this is very neon. More neon than the other neon. Well, other than the neon pink that I said was obviously a neon. And I mean, these do seem to be going down really, you know, fairly smooth. And so, yeah. And they are still very glittery. So we did not lose any of the glitterness, you know, the glitteriness or any of that. It's kind of like a neon, a light neon orange. think this is a red. And again, it's one that I would never consider neon. But that's good because really I don't like a lot of real bright neon colors. I don't use them very often. So that's more than fine with me that they don't necessarily look neon, since I'm not that big of a fan when it comes to neon. And this looks like it would be a shade of purple. Okay. This is kind of like a greenish brown. And I would definitely say if you get these, swatch them out, because the actual pen cap is a brown, but it is coming out very greenish. I seriously don't know if you guys can see that. So, I mean, it's always, in my opinion, I've heard people say, why do you swatch? And that's why. Because sometimes you can't tell. And if it's just nice to have that little reference point. Very few products that I have found have colors that match the casings or the caps. And again, that's kind of a great, but it does, you can kind of see the greenish a little bit in the cap on that one also, but it's really not what I would have expected looking at the cap. It's a nice color though. This looks like it would be the neon black. Okay, slide right back in there like you're supposed to. Thank you. And I rarely use the darker colors, so when it comes to things like that, I would be, you know, happy if they left them out and just gave me other colors. This is kind of like a silvery color, but it's kind of got a little bit of a green tint to it. Okay, now the next one is Glitter Neon 03. And the reason I put a star here is because this was the other problem I found with the set that I received. There is 2 GN03s, which is a very neon orange apparently. And so I'm going to have to email the company and let them know that I received 2 of those. So I'm missing a color. I would have to go through the refills to try to see what color it is I'm missing. So it looks like what you guys are going to be looking at is their 99 color set, because I'm not sure what the other color would be. But that's not that big. Oh, I'm knocking the camera. I'm so sorry. It's not a huge problem since the company promises satisfaction guarantee. I'm sure they'd be happy to ship another one. So, yeah. And I still think the price for these, even 99 pins, is a great deal. We'll discuss the price at the end and my thoughts on that. I'm sitting at an odd angle, so it's kind of hard to get the pens to pop back in the way I want them to. So I feel like I'm struggling, and I don't want you guys to think it's that big of a struggle, because it's truly not. Now this one does feel a little more scratchy than the others. It does not feel quite as juicy. I wonder if I can get this to come out better, or if that's just the way it is. Yeah, it did start coming out much better when I just kind of tapped it. And I don't know if you guys know that, but you can just kind of tap on a gel pen, and a lot of times that will get that ink flowing much better. So there was 2 pens that were a tiny bit scratchy. One started on its own automatically. The other one I did have to tap just a little bit to get it going. So, but you know, that is here in the neons, and it's like I told you, it is the neon colors that I tend to have issue with if I'm going to have issues with my gel pens. My neons and my pastels. That seems to be the ones, if there's going to be a problem, it's going to be with neons and pastels. Okay. And Bradley's up walking around. You can probably hear his little clicky, clicky, clicky. He's probably thinking, hey Mom, it's real far past lunchtime. It's raining out there, Bubba. I think this, you know, the bottom on that one was a little loose. When those bottoms get a little loose, it makes it hard sometimes to get the color to go down straight, because the inside of the pen is kind of moving around in there. Here, on the home stretch. hate to reach across the camera, but I'm at that odd angle and I almost feel like I have to get these. This is a very neon green. For those of you that like those really bright neon colors, this one is for you. Okay, and that's it for that section. We'll close this up and we'll get started on the last group. Okay, we have GN23. GN08. And try to figure out if there's any serious method to the madness when it comes to the different numbers. See what I think on that, because I mean, you've got greens here and it's like green 23, this is a green and it's 23, and this is a green and it's 8, so I'm not sure. And then it jumps to another green here that is 38 and then on to 24, so that's why I'm not real sure about that. Okay. GN 35. Tighten this up. Feels a little loose there. That's a very pretty color. And 28. 2. We are almost there. 5 more to go. And we are done. Instead of going to the next page, I just drew in 3 squares over on the side for the last 3. That way, it would have been 4 if there would have been the entire 100 instead of just that one that I had 2 of. But I thought I would do that instead of going and starting a whole new page just for, you know, 3 or 4 colors. This is a very deep blue color. It's actually kind of pretty. It's almost like a blue black. Okay. Having a hard time getting these in at the angle on hats. Chan of 9. Oh, I love this. Blue is another favorite color of mine. It was Brooks, my daughter's favorite color. Okay. I moved up here and I just made us 3 squares for these last 3 here, so we could do that. Okay. 13. It's loose. Yeah. Those are just a little loose. They feel funny when you're trying to color with them. You just have to tighten that bottom up, and then it generally works just fine. Okay. And last but not least, our last little square. And there we go. All right. And I didn't forget, we're going to test these on some black too. Okay, but you see these glitter? That glitter is just, it is shimmer, shimmer, shimmer. Very shimmery on all of those. Okay, I'm just going to flip this over a little bit, and we're going to test out a few of those glitter neons. And all I'm going to do is just kind of quickly put a few marks down, and we'll see what they do. This was GN23. I want to make sure you guys can see where I'm at. And yeah, that does show up there. We'll see how much of that color turns transparent and how much sticks around. And I'm not going to do a lot of these. I'm just randomly, this is GN09, I'm just very randomly grabbing some and putting those down, and then I'll randomly grab some of the regular colors. That one shows up very well in black. And I'll just very randomly grab some of the other colors. So I'm just kind of testing the theory, is it that the neons show up on your black where your regular ones do not. And that purple does definitely pop on that as well. And so far, those aren't drying out and losing their color. Yeah, you guys can see good. There's that red. Okay. And I mean, they're not super boom boom bright, but I mean, they are very, very, very visible. It's not that you cannot see them. That red does seem to be drying a little more transparent than the other three, though. This pink. You know, and I really don't use anything over black myself, so it's not a big deal, you know, to me. So, I'm letting those dry a little bit. Let's see, where's those other neons? Where's those other neons? Here, neon, neon, neon. Okay. Let's grab this yellow. Whoa. That yellow pops. You see that? Ah, look at that. That yellow. I think that they're going a little more transparent than I would like. I would not color directly on black with these, personally. That yellow seems to be staying pretty yellow, though. But, I mean, they show up really well when you first are putting them down on the black. But then they are tending to go a little transparent after that. However, the glitter is still showing up very bright, even when it goes a little transparent. You see there? So those are going to be your samples of the neons on the black. Okay, and now let me just grab... Let's go over here to the regulars and just kind of see if they even show up on the black at all. Yeah, see on these, the color is, at least on this one, the color is just not there. The glitter, yes, you can see the glitter like crazy, but not the ink at all, really. So that seems to be what the neon is that the neons is supposed to show up on the black better, where it appears your regular ones, the colors don't necessarily show up as great. However, this one really does. Look at that blue pop on that black. Oh my goodness, can you guys see that? I don't know if that's going to, there, you can kind of see the blue better that way without the shadow. We'll see if that goes transparent, but that doesn't necessarily look like it's going to. And I think that maybe there's really light colors that I was referring to, where it just kind of had a tinge of the color that I was telling you about. That's one of them. So I'm kind of thinking that maybe those would show up much better on the black. Open these up. Test just a couple from the front. Oh, we put that white down already, didn't we? Let's see. This was just a silver. It looks like the silver will show up on black really well. So, just a quick sample, and let's look at the gold. And then, yeah, the gold's not going to show up all that great. But, I mean, it is definitely goldish glitter that's showing up on the paper. Okay. So, there we have it. Let me zoom back out. Okay. That was on the black. The yellow stayed pretty yellow. The green stayed pretty green. I can still see these colors, but they did get a little transparent. So, I don't know that I would, well, I mean, you could color with them, but they're not going to show up really, really great. These here did really well also. But, let's see. here you go. These are the first page of the colors that you get in the set. This is the second page of the colors that you get with this set. And that is it for that. So, quick little overcap. We had 2 GN03s in the pack, which I'll email the company about. And then we had the one casing on the pen that was busted, I'm sure, in shipping, because they do ship in their, excuse me, the manufacturer's box. This is actually what they ship in, so if anything hits the box, that could happen. So, you know, I'll email the company about that. We had 2 pens that skipped. One of them immediately went straight back to coloring with no assistance at all. The one I did have to tap out just a little. The current price for this set on Amazon, and it is the 100 pens and then 100 refills. The price as of this morning is $19.99, so that's basically $9.99.5 for 100 pens. So for under $10, you're getting 100 glitter gel pens, because in this set you get 200. So for that for under $20, you're getting the 200. So that's under $10, 100 set, which is a really good deal. The best price I have ever found was on the A&R Arts, which was $9.99 for the 100 set. And it did not come with any refills, but that was just 100 for $9.99. The price now on those, I believe, is $16 or $18.99 just for the 100 without the refills. So for the $19.99, you are getting the 100 plus 100 refills. So I believe this is probably the best price on Amazon right now. When I purchased these last week, I believe they were on a Christmas special, and I was able to get them for $15.99, which I felt was a steal, and I was willing to get these and try these out just to see. But I believe the current price of $19.99 is a great price. Would I buy these gel pens again? Yes, I would. I believe that they could benefit by having the little rubber padding around the bottom for your fingers. However, that's really not that big of a deal. They have the color names on the cap, and the color name is on the refill. So when you go to refill your pen, it's easy. Having the color names makes it possible to swatch these out easily and keep a swatch available when you color. And I think that is probably the biggest plus for these pens, is that they are labeled with their numbers. Not names, but numbers. So I would definitely purchase these again, and I will purchase these again in the future as I need more refills. So I will leave a link in the description to these gel pens if you would like to purchase these for yourself. I will also leave a link to the Jade Summer swatch book that we used today in the description if you're interested in that. And I am going to email the company in reference to the broken pen and having 2 of the same colors. And as soon as I hear back from the company, I will update the description to let you know what their response was. I expect it to be very positive because of their satisfaction guarantee that they stress on their box, as well as their listing on Amazon. So there you have it. That is the Ariane 100 value gel pen set with 100 refills. It says that it has 20% more gel ink than most pens in the market. I see those statements all the time, so I don't pay attention to that so much. But they do seem like great gel pens at a great price. So I would definitely recommend these, and I will color with these, and I will repurchase these. So links are in the description, and that's it for this video. So thank you so much for watching. Let me know if you hung in there through the whole video, what you thought of the pins. Did you fast forward to the end to see how things turned out and what my opinion was? And what do you think? Will you be purchasing these for yourself, putting them in your wish list for a later date? What do you think? Sound off, guys. And until next time, peace, love, and happy coloring. Bye, guys.